it also happens with record collectors too. Like if somebody says, "Oh, records are stupid," or records are why are you listening to an outdated format or whatever? Some
Yeah.
people can get really prickly about that.
Right.
Oh, did you guys see that whole thing on Twitter that was going on between two people talking about tapes? Somebody liked cassettes and somebody didn't, and it got actually like I was watching it kind of over. It went on over a couple days, and they were really kind of going back and forth. And I thought, like to me, like I'm not a big vinyl guy per se. Like I have some vinyl, like some of my favorite records I kept, but I do like the sort of convenience of like electronic music and carrying them around. But like I get vinyl, like I understand the appeal of it. Like I love, just seeing the thing behind you guys. Like I love the sort of feel and the big cover and pulling it out and the smell and.
Mm-hmm.
But I just remember looking at going like cassettes, really? Like you guys have strong feelings about cassettes? Like cassettes were kind of terrible when they were out. I couldn't believe that someone would have that much passion for something that's cassettes.
Yeah, but to me, it's like, okay, you don't like cassettes, big deal. So what? Move on.
Yeah,
right. It's
that with I even with things I sort of feel passionate about. Again, whether it's like a social justice thing or a whatever, a political thing, I'm not going to engage some stranger on the internet. I'm not going to argue with someone I don't know over a computer. It's got to be the most pointless extra there is. Like they're not going to change my mind probably. I'm definitely probably not going to change their mind. So what happens, you just get in this big thing where you keep thinking, well, this is the zinger where they're going to like wave the white flag, and that never happens because that's not how human beings interact. So yeah, I'm with you. If you don't like cassettes, don't listen to them.
Yeah.
If you like them, go buy 1,000. I don't care.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, people get so passionate about it's like following a sports team, right? You say the wrong thing about the wrong sports team, and you're up shit creek with like, you're a hater of the Canadians or whatever it is, right? You know what I mean? It's the same kind of concept, but yeah.
I had a conversation with someone earlier this week, and he's a Lakers fan, and I said, well, I cheered for the Bulls, and he was like, okay, this is the end of the conversation.
And
yeah, done. It wasn't actually, but it was,
what's funny is like I actually I cheer for the Green Bay Packers. They're my favorite team to watch.
Yeah.
And as passionate as I've been watching them over the years, you do kind of hit a realization that cheering for a favorite sports team is kind of unreasonably dumb. Like, even though I do it, like I recognize that, like, first of all, I'm not from Green Bay. That's number one. Number two, none of the guys on that team are from Green Bay. Number three, when I watch them lose, and I used to get upset, I would watch them walk on the street. They're laughing. They don't care. It's a job to them. And meanwhile, you have idiots like me at home, like cursing at their television or whatever. A bunch of guys in a city you're not from lost a game to another city that you're not from, playing guys that aren't from there. And it's just this whole weird thing that you're sort of just cheering for whoever happens to be wearing a green shirt at that time. And it's like, then they leave and you don't like them anymore. You're like, Brett Favre, I hate that guy.
Yeah. I definitely see where you're going with that. Like, so I guess since like Janelle, like since we got together, she moved in and stuff. So it's maybe been like 9 years since I've sat through any kind of full sports game. Like it was hockey night in Canada, Saturday nights, I was very avid on that. And like, I don't watch hockey anymore. I don't watch CFL. And that's kind of really all I would watch, like zero sports nowadays. And you know what? It doesn't affect me at all. I could give two shits who fucking won the basketball game the other night. Like, it does not affect me. That's a lot. I'm not talking about it at the water cooler the next day. Like, I don't care. Do you know what I mean?
No, 100%, because really at the end, like, and the former quote unquote athlete in me would be ashamed to hear me say that, but none of it matters.
Yeah.
Like, the game goes on, somebody wins, somebody, like, who won the World Series 2 years ago? I don't know.
Yeah.
I have no idea. I'm sure somebody does, but it doesn't affect 99.9% of people.
Yeah, I remember Roberta Alomar and Joe Carter. from Toronto Blue Jays because I had a poster of them in my bedroom, but like I couldn't tell you who won the series since the Maple Leafs or the Maple Leafs.
Maple Leafs.
See, since the Blue Jays in like '93. But yeah,
no, it's the same thing. Like it's almost it's like a healthier way to sort of. I think it's sports or anything, like you want to have a healthier way to consume it. Like if your favorite team loses, and you're actually upset, I don't think that's a healthy way to watch. You know what I mean? I don't think that's or again, like if you're going to bring it back to that other argument we had about people arguing about vinyl or cassettes like just like what you like and enjoy it and, sort of glean what you can from it. And that should be about the extent of it. Like I'm not.
Yeah, I'm a Formula One fan, and I watch that religiously. In the past 26 years, I maybe missed one season. But I have friends that are also Formula One fans, and one in particular, we cheer for the same guy, for the same driver. And so he's Dutch, he's from Holland, and
the driver or your friend?
Both.
Okay.
So he cheers for the Dutch driver.
Right.
And every time he has a bad race or something bad in news or whatever, he sends me this material and he goes like, "Did you see this?" And I'm like, "Yeah, well, okay." It's like, yeah, he had a bad race. So what?
Yeah, it's kind of.
I'm more of a fan of the sport than one particular driver.
Right.
You know, and that makes it a lot more enjoyable to watch, because if he crashes out, normally I would just off with the TV. But I mean, I'm a fan of all the drivers.
So you'll watch watch it till the end.
I'll watch the whole thing. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I can see that. Like I said, I think with anything, people tend to. It's almost like whatever you like, be it racing, a sport, your sports team, your favorite band, increasingly your political party affiliation. Like it's almost that's what people identify as. It's like the world is getting more Breakfast Clubby, where you're only one thing, and it's like if you like this and you can't like that, or that this is more important. And I don't know that's I definitely don't think that's a good thing. Like I really think people need to have a bit more perspective about all of those things. Whether it's that bands and sports and racing should be fun, or that, politics is something that can be discussed as opposed to, shouted at each other in all caps. And, especially when people make up names for each other, for the people they hate, and they'll take some insult and sort of Packers fans call the Vikings the Vikings, which is not just stupid and kind of a little dated and sort of gauche. It's also just dumb. The people who cheer for the Vikings are basically you in another city. People don't realize how similar, I'm a football fan, but I'm not that kind of football fan. They're dumb, I'm smart. It's absolutely ridiculous.
It is, eh?
Yeah. And we have to remember that sports is entertainment. And if it's not entertaining, there's something wrong.
Yeah, and it's like that with anything. You want to have that kind of right amount of passion and perspective, where you want it to be important enough to matter, so you don't feel like you're wasting your time, but also you want to have that perspective of, okay, well, my team lost, or the new record by my favorite band isn't everything I thought it was. Oh well, we'll move on to another day. And both of those things happened to me this week.